This movie was pretty decent. Unfortunately, I got some of it spoiled. I tried to avoid spoilers, but my dumbass got on TikTok the day of its release. Because I didn't go until the day after March 11th. Because it released March 10th where I live. I don't know about anybody else. They do something new for the series in the beginning of the movie, which I thought was really unique. Where this guy tricks a girl into coming in the alley. He kills her. And he takes his ghost face mask off. Of course, he ends up not being, a big deal. He ends up just being someone that wanted to finish Richie's story. And he gets killed. And his boyfriend got killed too, which I think it was his boyfriend. He says, "Honey, I'm home." Says stuff about getting blue balls and about killing. Just a weird stuff. I don't know exactly. Maybe he was just saying that sarcastically. I don't know. Yeah, he and his boyfriend get killed. His boyfriend's already killed. Tells him to play a warmer, colder game, and his friend that was supposed to help him kill is in the fridge, and then he gets killed. And that's the opening kill of the movie, is a killer getting killed. So I have this plot with all the stuff that was shown in the trailer, all the stuff from previous killers or previous victims. Well, they start dropping off Ghostface masks after each killer attack. They drop off some mask at this convenience store after they kill 2 people. And so on and so on until eventually the only ones we have left are Mickey, Mrs. Loomis, Billy, and Stu. I don't think Mickey's ever gets dropped off. I think they forgot about Mickey. Maybe it was dropped off after they attacked Gail, since that was the last person, besides Mindy, that got attacked. But I don't really see a Ghostface mask dropped off at the scene. And I don't know why they would drop it off with Mindy, since she was attacked in public with all those people by the bus. And that's not train, but that's not the problem. The problem is, someone could have just picked it up and walked away with it, unlike a normal crime scene, like the convenience store where he was using a shotgun, which was obviously going to cause the police to come or attacking them in their houses. But train station just doesn't really work. By the time we're halfway through the movie, you're just stopping the dropping off the mask, and the only people left are Mickey, Mrs. Loomis, Billy, and Stu. They never do mention Mickey's mask getting dropped off, from what I remember. And then 2 of them are, wearing masks. One's wearing Mrs. Loomis, the other one's wearing Stu's because Stu was her favorite. And Billy's mask is going to be given to Sam after they kill her. No mention of Mickey. Which probably just only bothered me because I'm a big fan of Mickey. They do this dumb thing where Chad has this relationship with Jenna Ortega, when I'm pretty sure they never even interacted in the other movie. Most of his scenes were with Liv or with his sister. Speaking of which, I like the scene that they're all walking to the place where they first discover all the memorial shrine for the ghost faces. And the brother and sister are, messing with each other. Chad's grabbing at her ear. It's just a background thing, but it's pretty cool. They kind of play it the whole don't trust the love interest thing, because one girl is the love interest of this dude that we never see on screen. We hear him talking in the other room. And then he's killed the next time we see him after we knew he was, alone with her. He's about to take a bath. She's on the bed. He's talking to her. Next time we see him, he's dead. Sure, Ghostface could have done it, but I think it was kind of obvious that it was her. The people I got spoiled was that it was Ethan and the sheriff. They never said anything about her. So, at least I knew that one. Anyways, Kirby's here. She doesn't do too much. They try and convince you she's the killer near the end. Or they're like, oh yeah, she was fired from the FBI 2 months ago for being mentally unstable because of trauma, which they tried to do that stupid shit in Scream 5 with Wes saying that Dewey could have been the killer because of all the stuff he's went through. So I wasn't gonna believe Kirby was the killer. They had me for maybe a second when she was the only one not around when people were getting attacked. Once again, I was not the biggest fan of the killers, unfortunately. These might be my least favorite killers in the series. I still think it was a pretty good movie, though. And it's kind of 3 ghost faces, but I really don't think it is. Because I'm pretty sure it's just the brother and sister doing the killing. And he wanted the revenge, but he was obviously going to be there to protect them, since he wasn't there to protect Richie. And he would only kill people if he had to. I feel like it was with Mrs. Loomis, where she only actually had 2 scenes as Ghostface. The one where she attacked Dewey and kidnapped Gail, and the one where she kills Randy. Which, speaking of that, I have a line in the movie that I was going to criticize, but then I thought about it more, where they say that Gail has never been on the phone with Ghostface. And I was like, but she was called by Ghostface, because for some reason I was just thinking about how, Scream 2, Ghostface calls Gail, and Randy's the one that answers it. So she did get a call. She just didn't answer it. So Ghostface's line about how they've never talked on the phone before is actually accurate. Speaking of, Scream 2, they referenced the hell out of that movie in this one for some reason. Maybe it's because it's their highest one on the tomato meter. Or maybe it's just a coincidence. Or, they kind of did say that this was like the second in the requel thing, so maybe that's why they referenced it so much. Billy Loomis has like 2 scenes in this movie. I didn't think he was going to return, but they did do it again. So that was cool. I did think this one had a bit too much drama for my liking. There's always been drama. Sydney arguing with Tatum in the first movie about her mom. Her arguing with Billy about her mom. Her punching Gail in both of the first 2 movies. There's just always been a bit of drama. But he was heavy on the drama. I'm also just not a big fan of Sam and Tara, not their actual characters, but with how violent their death scenes get. With how they kill Ghostface. Like, Sydney obviously wasn't nice and gave them a merciful death, but their deaths were always, way less violent for the Ghostfaces. Now they're like going ham. Like, Jenna would take his character, fucking puts her knife all up in Ethan's mouth, and it's crazy that how they killed the sheriff, where he gets stabbed and then he gets hit put through his eye, and Ethan gets a TV dropped on his head after all the stuff he just went through. The girl gets her teeth knocked out and shot in the head, though hers wasn't as bad. They also, definitely did another thing from Scream 2 where the killers were related to the previous person. Scream 1, it was Billy and Stu, and then Scream 2, Billy's mom wanted revenge. Now in this movie, Richie's dad and his brother and sister want revenge. And they also, Richie was also trying to make a movie for the Scream stuff. And Mickey wanted to blame it on the movies so he could get put in the movies or something. He definitely wanted to blame it on the movies. I'm not sure if he wanted to be in the movie, so maybe they didn't completely knock off Scream 2. Yeah, I really wasn't a fan of the killers in this movie. Definitely could have been portrayed better at least. I wonder if in the future movies they're gonna count Jason and Greg as Ghostface killers. Sure, they, technically weren't, going around killing all the people trying to attack them just yet. They just killed some random girl that they didn't like. But they wore a Ghostface costume while doing it. So, couldn't they still be considered Ghostface killers? They should be, in my opinion. Even if they didn't have that much screen time and they only had one kill, and Greg didn't really kill anybody yet. Regardless of body count, they should still be considered ghost faces since that's what they were planning to do. They just got killed before they could do it by another ghost face. There was apparently an end credit scene that I'll have to look up online, hopefully, because I didn't see it. Or just wait until it's on Paramount or something. I doubt it would have been that important. It is a Scream movie. It's not an MCU movie. They also do this dumb thing with Chad and Jenny Ortega being a love interest. Even though, I think I already said it. Don't think they interacted in the first movie at all. He was mostly on scene with his sister Liv, who is a nothing character. But yeah, they just kind of start having them kind of date in this movie. I did like that they referenced Scream 2 a lot, though, because it was one of my favorite movies. They reference a lot of the events of the fifth one, a decent amount of the fourth one, since one of the people from the fourth movie is in it. One of the reoccurring jokes is that Gail can accept that Kirby is an adult now, even though I don't think they even had a single scene together. I can't be sure. Speaking of Gail, she gets written out of the movie. Doesn't die. She gets written out of the movie. She gets attacked and put in the hospital. We never see her again throughout the entire movie. Unlike what they did with Halloween 2, I think, in the new rebooted series. Kinda rebooted series. And how Laurie Strode was in the hospital for, most of the movie. They also toned down on all the references to movies. There were still references, but there was nowhere near as many references as literally any of the movies. There were some references near the beginning, and then not too much. They referenced Laurie Strode and stuff like I just talked about. They referenced Freddy Krueger and stuff. And maybe some reboots at the Candyman stuff. that they liked during the shrine scene, but it really wasn't the main focus. Which I've always found the references cool, but it was definitely cooler to see them toned down a little bit, because there's a lot of references in these movies. And sometimes you feel left out because maybe you haven't seen one of those horror movies because of how many movies they referenced. So it was cool they toned down, but definitely weird. There's a lot more chase, sequences, which Scream 5 did not have any of, besides one scene which I didn't even realize until I watched James' recent kill count on it. So that was pretty cool that we got, actual chase scenes and longer, more heavy stuff. They also had Mindy's girlfriend in here. Of course, she fucking dies because she was not really that well established of a character. Near the end of the movie, she starts flirting with Mindy, and it looks like they're about to date, but they really don't have much screen time together, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And now she's returning as, more of a main character, and she gets killed in a very brutal way. And she was killed, like, way, way too predictably, though. I was like, all the main characters from the previous movie made it across the ladder. She is severely injured. Ghostface went up her stomach with the knife. And, then she's hesitating to go on the ladder. And Ghostface is just fucking with them. Like, she or he or whatever Ghostface was under the mask during that time had no reason to fuck with her. They hated Sam, but I guess they were just enjoying that. They were moving the ladder up and down, not even really trying to remove it until she got so close. And then she just dies. One thing I thought was dumb, though, them heavily accusing Ethan throughout the entire movie. Nobody's really accused of being the killer. They're like, yeah, 4 main characters, they can't be the killer. They survived it already. Yeah, even later, they try and fucking blame Kirby, which is stupid when they literally established that previous characters that have already dealt with Ghostface trauma can't be the killers. So, them trying to blame Kirby was dumb. Don't even try and fool me with that shit. It only worked for like half a second. Anyways, they literally trying to establish that previous people can't be the killers. Then, like, all the people die besides the boyfriend who isn't in the movie that much because he trusts Sam's judgment and tries to stay away from her. And the sheriff who wants revenge for his dead daughter. And then Ethan, who every goddamn time we talk to him, they're like, you're Ghostface. Mindy does it. Her brother does it. He's the only one that's accused of being Ghostface throughout the movie. Other people, they're like, we can't trust you. You might be Ghostface. Like Sam's boyfriend. But he's the only one that's straight up accused. Like, other people are like, we can't trust you. You might be the killer because you're the love interest. Or, because of so-and-so. But he's the only one that just straight up, like, yeah, he's the killer. So, I mean, I think they were trying to trick you because it was, like, too much into your face of how, they're accusing him. But it really didn't work. It ended up just being kind of goofy that he was literally the only one being accused when there's other characters. They also killed characters way too fast. Like, we don't have time to try and guess who the killer is going to be. As boring as Scream 4 was, in my opinion, they had time to think of who the killers were going to be. There's time in between the movies. There was time to Just sit and relax and watch these characters do stuff. In this movie, characters are dying every 2 seconds or running for their lives. But I think that's really about it for this movie. It's decent. It was a bit too more on the drama side for me though. And yeah, that's about it.